It's finally happening. It is finally happening. We've been talking about this for years, but y'all, we are finally going to build my dream library craft room. This room has been storage for literally like the past decade. It didn't start out that way. I was gonna have it be like this little sitting area and be all cutesy, and then it was just a space we never used, and so, you know, put one box here, and then another box, and then another box, and then, oh, here's a mattress we're not using anymore. Oh, here's a table we need to donate. It literally just became the room of stuff. Yeah, Tilly, it became the room of stuff. Tilly saw it. Tilly did not like it when it was a room of stuff. She literally came up here and she was like, no, this is not for me. This is a way too packed full of things. She likes it way more now that it's like this empty room covered in like these tape squares. She has been playing up here nonstop. Did you bite my toe? What do you have to say for yourself, madam? A moment for the adorable Tilly. Watch this. Oh, I got your belly. Oh, I got your belly. Now I hope y'all are in for the long haul, because this is not getting done in one video. Probably not even getting done in 2 videos, maybe not even 3 videos. I honestly don't know. All I know is I really want to take y'all along with me and really show you from start to finish what is it like making this craft room, because we are truly making everything for this craft room. I'm going to take you through planning, what it's really like to plan building something like this. I'm going to take you through all of the woodworking and making it. We're going to be painting, we're going to be designing things, we're going to be installing all of it. Then we're going to be organizing my insane amount of craft supplies and books. And lastly, we are going to be decorating it. And I really want this to be like a group project, you know? I want this to be a whole like sunflower family thing where you guys can give me your opinions in the comments and I can let you know what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to ask you guys to vote on things. You're going to help me figure out what we're going to call this room. We're going to be picking out colors. There are seriously so many decisions to make. I had no idea how many decisions were going to go into making something like this, y'all. Just the planning has taken me like the last week. It's been crazy. And speaking of the planning, that's basically what this video is going to be about. I'm going to walk y'all through all of the plans that we have come up with so far for the craft room, because like I said, I had no idea how many decisions I was going to have to make before we even touched the saw, before we even started to make our cabinets and our bookshelves and our table. I mean, I guess I should have known I was gonna have to make like a million decisions, but I don't know. I was just like, oh yeah, cabinets. You just make a cabinet. No, there are like so many different types of cabinets. I had no idea, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start off by talking about where am I right now and what was in this room and where did it all go? In the upstairs of our house, I have my office, Josh has his office, and then over to the side, we have this little like lofted area where it's just kind of open into like our living room and kitchen, but then it's just this room, and I've honestly just never known what to do with it. And I think that's how it became the accidental storage room. Over the last year, we have been starting to really go through the boxes. And I know that sounds like a crazy amount of time to go through boxes, because it is, but there were also a lot of boxes, like so many boxes. It was seriously like up to my head, this entire room full of boxes. But we donated a bunch of stuff. We got rid of a bunch of stuff that was truly trash. And then we still kept a lot. Let me show you a little bit of what we kept. So my first run at going through everything in this loft was to basically try my best to box up everything that I thought was going to stay in the craft room and put it in this closet. Y'all, so many things. So many things. I did my best to go ahead and start organizing things. Like there's some markers and pens, there's glue sticks. I have no idea what that is. Maybe like tape and glue. Hi, Tilly. Tilly, no baby, you can't go in here right now. I know, it's a new open door and it's so exciting. I'm so sorry. So as you can tell, a lot of things in here, but we are gonna close this before Tilly gets too excited. And I'm gonna show you where the rest of everything is. It's going to end up back in the craft room once we've built all of our organization. No, baby, get your little paws out. Get your paws. Thank you. She says, I can open this type of door, you know, because she can. Luckily, I think these are a little bit too like secure for her to actually open, but she usually puts her paw underneath and like pulls it out. Literally can't even believe that I'm showing y'all this, because it's a lot. So you know my office that you've seen in a lot of my videos, a lot of my live streams, well, can't exactly use it right now, because right now it's the new storage room. Oh my goodness. I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous to show you guys this. Okay, so this is where everything else went. Like I said, a lot of stuff, but okay, it's not as crazy as it looks. So we have like a lot of big old tech that we're donating that we still have to donate. I have these big dressers, multiple of them, and they're all just full of craft supplies that will all be moved into the new storage that's going to be in the craft room. We have a lot of empty crates, and then we have these boxes. And if you think I couldn't have any more yarn from my past videos, you'd be wrong. Because remember how I said I had boxes and boxes of yarn in the garage? We brought in the boxes and boxes of yarn, y'all, so now we gotta build some storage for it. Genuinely, most of these boxes are full of craft stuff, so, you know, it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna pretend like this doesn't exist until we've built some storage for it. So as you can see, crazy amount of crafting stuff that we need to build a crazy amount of storage for. So now that you kind of know what we're working with, let's talk about what we actually need to build. But before we dive in and before I show you everything we're about to build and we talk about the design and the vibe and the layout, I need y'all to help me come up with a name for this room. If you know me, you know that I love having fun names for things. In the corner of our backyard, we have the cozy corner. At my parents' house, we have the magical fairy forest. I love cutesy little names. I have posted a few shorts about this room and I've gone through the names y'all have been saying under the shorts, and I love so many of your name options, but I'm not gonna read your name options until the very, very end of this video, because while you're watching this, especially for somebody who's seeing all this for the first time, I want you to like see the room, see what I'm trying to do with it, see the inspiration photos I'm gonna show, and just like really give me your honest opinion of what you think the name should be. And then at the very end of this video, I am going to go through all of my favorite names that I've heard so far, and then you guys can kind of maybe like vote on those, let me know if there's any you like, any you don't like. We have to come up with a really, really cute name for this room. And yes, I will be making a sign for the entrance of the room once we come up with a name. Okay, let's talk about what we're gonna build in this room. So not only do I have a crazy amount of crafting supplies, I also have a crazy amount of books. I know, shocker to no one. This entire part of the closet, because this closet like goes back into the wall, all these boxes right here are full of books. I love books so much, y'all. I am someone who does like do a lot on the e-reader and a lot of audiobooks. And I am someone who likes to buy the books to also be able to lend them to friends. That is me, that is me. I've never really been someone who needs the books as a trophy to put on a shelf because I've never had a shelf before. But now that we're gonna have a shelf, I fear I might also be someone who buys books as a trophy to put on their shelf. So let's talk about the bookshelves. So when you're first like walking into this room, we had this like big empty wall beside of the window, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be the perfect place to have a floor to ceiling bookshelves, especially since also you can see it from like the living room and the kitchen, and I love the aesthetic of books. So this is where we are building our bookshelves. And even just with bookshelves, something as simple as just like a slab of wood to put books on, this is where I realized just how many decisions I was going to have to make. Do I want just like a 2x4, you know, to go across, really, really simple? And then if I do that, do I want to stain it? Do I want to leave it just a natural wood? Do I want to paint it? Do I want to have L brackets? Do I want to use the invisible brackets that make them float? There are so many options for just making basic bookshelves. But y'all know me. You guys know that I really just want to be like a fairy that lives in the woods. And so you know that I love live edge shelves. Y'all, live edge shelves are so gorgeous with like the natural bark along the edge. They're so beautiful. But the problem is I kept looking at them at like the store, at like Lowe's or Menards or whatever, and they were just so expensive, like so expensive. Even to just do these like 6 shelves, so much money. But did you know you can actually go straight to like lumber yards, or you can like usually get them from people on Facebook Marketplace. Like there are so many other ways you can get live edge shelves. So if you really want a live edge shelf, but the store price just was not for you, just like it was not for me, definitely look at other places. And once we officially figure out where we're going to be buying them from, I will keep y'all updated and let you know how it goes and how much they cost. One of the hardest things about any sort of like live edge shelf and just wood in general is like how long it has to take to dry out, since wood has like sap in it. And so some of the wood has just been like dried out by age. I think it has to have been cut for like 2 years or something like that for it to fully dry out. Or it can be kiln dried, which is where it's literally put into like a kiln, like you would do with pottery or something, and then they dry it out so it dries out all the sap. But if your wood isn't like, you know, aged or kiln dried, you're gonna have like sappy shelves. So I think a lot of people think, you know, you can just like cut down a tree and then just stick it up for a shelf. you can't really do that. There's going to be a lot of problems that you run into. You're going to have sap, it can potentially warp over time. There's going to be moisture. It's just like, there's a lot of issues that can happen if it's not properly dried out. So when we get our live edge shelves, I have to make sure that it's all properly dried out. The next thing I was trying to decide is how we're going to attach it to the wall. At first I was thinking just like an L bracket, but the problem with L brackets is that since they're like this away from the wall, they actually come out into your bookshelf and they take up space. Even if it's only a few inches, that's like so much space for so many more books whenever you like divide it out amongst all of the bookshelves. So my dad was showing me these like floating shelf brackets. So the floating shelf brackets will basically just go directly into the piece of wood and then directly into the stud on the wall. So even just to drill these like floating shelf brackets, we have to figure out where the studs are in the wall and then figure out where we need to drill along the bookshelf. See what I mean? There's just like already so many more things than I would have thought to like think about whenever doing a project like this. So on the other side of the room over here, I did want to have some more shelves. So I'm going to do 2 shorter live edge shelves here. And I think I'm gonna put my Joann's mirror right here. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There was this like golden mushroom mirror from Joann's that was like $60. And I just never bought it, and I regretted it so much when they were going out of business. But then I swear my Joann's literally brought like 100 of these like golden mushroom mirrors like out of storage or out of the warehouse or something, because all of a sudden we had so many of these mirrors. And I got one for $6. Actually, I got 2 and I gave one of them to one of my best friends and she loved it, which made me really happy. So I'm picturing like the mushroom mirror here, maybe hanging some like herbs underneath of this shelf, then having 2 short little live edge bookshelves. These will maybe have some books, but also maybe some trinkets. Obviously the other bookshelves aren't just going to be books, they're also going to have like trinkets on them and stuff. I'm still trying to decide if up here above the closet and if over here above the window, I'm going to do shelves or if I'm just going to do something more similar to like a gallery wall. I think I might do like a gallery wall. I can hang like dried flowers and do photos and do just any sort of like small shelves and small trinket little corners. I feel like that could be like really, really cool. Next, let's talk about my little craft table right here in the middle. Y'all, side note, if you've never used masking tape to like plan out a project like this, I highly recommend it because you can see like what's gonna fit, how big does something need to be? Like I had no idea how big this island table was going to be. I had no clue until I started to map it out. So when I originally taped it out, it was going to be 4 by 4 feet. But then I started thinking about the type of chair that I want to have here. If you know me, you know that I love sitting cross-legged. I love sitting crisscross applesauce. And so I really want to get one of those cross-legged chairs. And I found one that is like the velvet green that I love. That's going to look so good in here. So I'm going to get a velvet green cross-legged chair. And I was looking at like the base, like how wide is it? And it's 25 inches long. So I was like, okay, if it's 25 inches long, I probably want the underneath of my table to be at least 30 inches wide. That's when I started to realize that 4 feet across was not going to be big enough to comfortably go under here with my cross leg chair. So I widened it to 5 feet by 4 feet. But then y'all, it just started looking too big. I started thinking about the fact that back here, which we'll get to in a minute, these are going to be like drawers and cabinets and things that I'm like opening. A 4 foot wide desk was just too big. I was not going to have enough room to actually access my cabinets really, really comfortably. So I ended up making my desk 5 feet wide by 3.5 feet across. Even though we're making this table so much smaller than originally planned, I know I'm gonna wanna move it. So it is actually going to be on wheels, but the wheels are going to have locks that you're gonna be able just to kick down. So once the wheels are locked, it won't budge, but all I have to do is flip off the lock and I'll be able to like push it over here, like push it over there, anytime that I need to move it or I need more room. Now you might be wondering what these little sections are taped off on the side. The plan is for our desk to actually have storage. So this middle part will be open all the way across, so I can slide in a chair on one side, a friend can slide a chair in from the other side, we can craft together. I think this is still plenty of table space for 2 people to craft, especially with how wide it's gonna be. And the width gives us the ability to make cubbies on the side. So we're going to be able to have little cubbies on each side. I haven't decided what I'm going to put in the cubbies yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to do like boxes that you pull out or if I'm going to do like shelves. I really don't know, but that will definitely be in a later video. We will figure out exactly how we're going to build this and then we'll figure out what we're going to store in it. Just while I was looking on Pinterest for craft room ideas, I saw so many desks with extra storage and y'all saw how much stuff I have to store. Like, yes, I have the full closet, but as you saw, the closet's basically full. So any extra storage I feel like is going to be a good idea. And after seeing all of like the desks on Pinterest that had the storage on the side, I knew we had to try to build it. And when I say build it, I do mean build it. Did I tell y'all yet what we're doing this next week? This next week, we're going to be staying with my parents and we are going to actually be building all of this with my dad in his workshop. Y'all might have seen some things that I built with my dad in the past. We built the stairs to the treehouse, we built the archway into the magical fairy forest, we built the bluebird boxes. I love making things with my parents and I love doing woodworking things with my dad. So over the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, we're going to be building all of this with my dad and then bringing it back to my house to install it. Now the hardest thing that we had to figure out how to build was the back workbench cabinet thingies. I don't even know what to call it. The thing that's going to go on the back wall. Let me show you our plan. This back wall felt like the perfect place to put more storage and also to have like another place that I can work. There's not going to be any place on this little back workbench where I can like slide my chair under, but I can definitely like sit beside of it. I can stand. It definitely gives me so much more tabletop to work with. So where you see this blue line is going to be the tabletop of my workbench. As you can see, it's a little bit tall. So our craft table for the middle of the room is only going to be 30 inches, and this is going to be 36 inches because I was doing some research and allegedly you want your sitting tables to be between like 26 inches and 30 inches tall, and you want your standing workbenches to be closer to 36 inches so you can just like stand up and work on projects. I like the fact that it's taller also because it gives us more cabinet space underneath. Something I'm still trying to figure out with the countertop is what type of top we're going to be putting on them. My initial reaction was butcher block. I really, really love the aesthetic of butcher block. I always thought I was going to get a butcher block countertop, but they're pretty expensive. They're pretty expensive, especially for one this big. This is going to be like 20 inches wide by 9 feet. And I also knew that I wanted this countertop to match my tabletop. That's even more butcher block to have a 3.5 by 5 foot butcher block. And so I think I'm going to go with like a Formica, a laminate, some sort of just like hard top surface. And what I really, really want is like a black sparkly. I want it to be sparkly, shimmery. I want it to look like the night sky. I think I have found the one I want. I'm actually going in person in a couple days to look at samples in person to see if I like it for sure. And then I will be ordering all of the tabletop, and y'all know that I'm gonna take you on that journey as well. So let's talk about how many cabinets we're making and in theory what they're all going to be for. Do you guys know the storage container secret? Because you guys know whenever you buy these little like storage containers at craft stores, you know how they're so expensive? They will literally be like 20 something a piece, so expensive. Harbor Freight. Y'all, Harbor Freight has these for so cheap. I know, Tilly, tell them to go to Harbor Freight and buy these. And no, this is not an ad, but Harbor Freight, if you see this, hey! These were so cheap at Harbor Freight. I think the little guys were literally only like $3 or something. All of these were like, I think a total of $80, which I know probably sounds like a lot, just hitting you with that right off the bat, but there's so much storage here. It is absolutely crazy, y'all. I'm so excited. So whenever you're seeing all of these stacked on top of each other, what I need you to picture is that each row, so like this is a row, 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 these are all going to be individual drawers. So this first cabinet right here is going to be a bunch of drawers all built perfectly for the storage container. So this is gonna hold like my beads and my buttons and my eyeballs and my rhinestones and my moss and my sticks and my stones and all kinds of my little things that right now are just in boxes, in bags, in Ziplocs. This is going to be so nice to just know where everything is and be able to be like, ooh, this is my jewelry drawer. I can pull this out and get my lobster claw. This is amazing. I wanted to see what the colors were going to look like and what my ideas were going to look like, so I did my best to do a mock-up of this area on Canva. I'm gonna put it on the screen right now so you can kind of visualize, starting over here to the far left, what these drawers are going to look like. Okay, right now I think that you're seeing my little mock-up for the first time, seeing all of these drawers. And yes, those are butterfly drawer pulls, and I'm not going to center them. I'm going to have them all squiggly going up each drawer so it actually looks like the butterflies are like flying into the sky. I also really love what I have mapped out right now to do like a gradient of a dark green to a light green. You also have to let me know what you think about the colors, because I think I really, really love doing 6 drawers and doing a gradient of greens, the 2 dark greens, 2 medium, and 2 light. I think that looks so cool, and it looks like the butterflies are like flying into the sky, but let me know what you think about the colors. Okay, speaking of the colors, let's move over here to the second set of cabinets. These are going to be our purple cabinets that open from the center. So the idea for this second cabinet here is that there's going to be 2 doors that open out, but it won't be divided down the middle. It'll just be one big open section that's about like 42 inches. This is going to have 3 different layers. The bottom layer will be my Cricut. The second layer is our sewing machines. And then there will be one more shelf really close to the top for our knitting machine, y'all. Our knitting machine is finally going to have a home and I'm so excited about it. For this cabinet, I really like having it purple. I really think I like having the dynamic of like the greens to the purples, back to the greens. I don't know, I think that it's just like so much fun. And I found this hardware on Etsy. It looks so gorgeous with the purple, this like gold flower and like twig kind of like piece. So gorgeous, I'm so excited. Moving on over here to our last 2 sections, I really wanted to have a trash can built into the room. So this part right here is going to be an open trash can. It's not going to be a slide out trash can. For one, that hardware gets really expensive really fast. 2, it's a little bit hard to install. And 3, once it's installed as a trash can, I can't really do anything else with it. This way, let's say I decide I don't want my trash can there. Let's say I want this cabinet to just be more storage. We just have one more open and close cabinet. And then above the trash, there's going to just be like a pull-out drawer. When I realized that I wanted to have like a specific cabinet just for the trash, I was like, obviously the little handle for that cabinet is going to be a raccoon because raccoons love trash. So I found this golden raccoon handle also on Etsy and I got it for our trash. How cute is that? I ran out of masking tape up here, but you can picture, you know, right here above the trash, there is another drawer that pulls out, and right next to it over here, one more drawer that pulls out. I got these adorable mushroom and snail drawer pulls for those top 2 drawers. I'm gonna explain this one to y'all last. Let's talk about underneath here. Underneath here, I think it's just going to be like a basket. You can get out a basket of things, put it back in, really, really simple. So saving the best for last, what this little middle section is going to be right here. It's going to be a hobbit hole for Tilly. So we are building this window into like a window seat for Tilly. We're gonna build it out a little bit. I don't know how yet. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm not sure if it's gonna be another piece of like live edge wood. I don't know if it's gonna be a type of like particle board and painted. I don't know what we're gonna do yet, but somehow this is going to be a seat for Tilly, probably like a cushion, maybe a scratcher. And then over here, we're gonna cut out in the side of the cabinet, like a little hobbit hole door, a little fairy house, some sort of adorable little thing for Tilly to be able to go back in here and have a bed so she can be out here in the sun and then she can go take a nap in her cozy little nook if she wants to. Over here, we ran into something else really, really weird because this part of the wall is actually more shallow than that part of the wall over there. So for most of this counter, it's going to be about 20 inches wide, but then over here, it has to cut down to being just 17 inches. So I know for sure that this cabinet is just going to be back by 3 inches, but I'm not exactly sure yet how we're going to be doing the countertop to make it all line up. But you know, we're gonna figure it out. There's going to be a lot of trial and error in this project. I mentioned earlier that I didn't realize how many different types of cabinets there were because I just thought we're gonna build cabinets. I thought I just needed to figure out, you know, what colors am I painting them, what kind of wood am I using, what kind of top am I doing, and like how big each cabinet was gonna be. And then my dad was like, well, do you want shaker cabinets or recessed panels or raised panels or flat panels or arched or glass or beadboard or open? I was like, there's so many different types of cabinets. Like I had no idea that there were this many different types of cabinets. And luckily, you know what, y'all? I genuinely like the flat panel. And he was like, really? He's like, those are the easiest. Awesome. And I was like, really? Awesome. And then I had to decide, do I want frameless or do I want face frame? And so these are example pictures of frameless versus face frame. And I like the face frame better. And my dad was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, those are the easiest. So luckily I have very easy taste. We are going to be doing flat cabinets that have face frames. And I'm learning a lot of new vocabulary going into this project, y'all. Oh, another crazy thing that I didn't know before going into this project. Okay, so up here, as you can see, we have carpet. And I know some of y'all in the shorts have already been saying, you should rip up the carpet. You should rip the carpet and put down a hardwood, put down a laminate, something. Now y'all, if I was just a crafter, not a crafter who also does YouTube, I would absolutely be pulling up this carpet and replacing with a hard floor because the hard floors are so much easier to clean in craft rooms. You spill glitter, no problem, sweep it up. You spill paint, no problem, just wipe it up. Carpet is a lot harder to clean, but carpet is so much better for filming. It's better just overall with like sound quality, but more than just the sound quality. You know what carpet is great for is rolly chairs. So y'all, anytime I'm filming and I'm on like a hardwood floor and a rolly chair, I have to edit out the sound of the rolly chair. So we are gonna be filming so many videos in this room going forward. If this was a hard floor and I have my rolly chair, I would be continuously editing out. That's not how squeaky chairs sound, but you know what I'm trying to say. The chair rolling across the floor, I would be editing it out nonstop, and that would add literally hours to my week every week of editing out my rolly chair. So alas, we are going to keep the carpet because it is going to make it so much easier for me in editing and filming and sound quality, even though having a hard floor would really make it so much easier to clean up the crafting messes. Why did I bring that up? Oh, I know why I brought that up, because something I didn't know about building cabinets is it's better to put cabinets on just like a hard floor because it's way more level, because carpet's not super level. But you actually buy these things that go underneath the cabinets and you can adjust them. You can like twist them different levels to make it all level out. So once we get all the cabinets up here, we're gonna basically put in each cabinet individually and then put the whole top on top. And then we can have the little levels on the bottom and twist them to make it all different heights until the top is level. Isn't that cool? Just like so many things that I didn't know that we were gonna be doing. I'm learning a lot. One of the harder things we're probably gonna end up doing back here is actually with the electrical, because y'all, I don't know anything about electrical, but I think we're gonna be able to keep that outlet there, since that is going to be the little section that just has a basket that I can sit in and pull out. But over here, there is an outlet right back there, right behind our sewing machine. So I think we're actually going to be rewiring that to come out right here above our countertop. So I'll let y'all know how that goes. I'm gonna learn a lot. And don't worry, I promise my dad is qualified to like do all those things. I'm not just gonna be willy-nilly messing with electrical. Ooh, speaking of electrical stuff, and this is something that probably you can do at home. I forgot to mention this earlier, but we're debating on putting lights underneath of our live edge bookshelf. So let me know if you guys think that would look cool to have like a track light underneath of each shelf. That way everything would be kind of like lit up. That would be cool, right? Or are you just gonna see my dusty books? I don't know. I think it might look cool. I could always turn it off and back on. Ooh, mood lighting. I have yet again saved the best for last. I haven't told y'all yet what I'm doing with this massive wall. This giant wall back here. This wall that is literally 9 feet across. 9 feet across. It's gonna be a yarn wall. This is literally how we're gonna store our yarn. I have wanted to do this for so long. Okay, if y'all saw my stash posting videos where I was like winding all the yarn, laying it out across the floor, I was telling y'all about this and how that was so cool to see all the yarn wound and laid out. And it gave me that like visual effect of like, oh my gosh, that's what my yarn wall is gonna look like. This is gonna be a work of art. We are literally doing this room for the yarn. This is literally for the yarn, y'all. I'm so excited. This entire wall, I mean the entirety of this wall, is going to be covered in a pegboard. We looked up different pegboard sheets. The one that we're getting is literally going to go basically 5 inches from each part of the wall. So it's gonna come all the way over here and be 5 inches away from this wall, about 5 inches away from the bottom, 5 inches from over here, and 5 inches from the top. But I don't even think you're gonna see the 5 inches on the sides because it's going to be so full of yarn. It is just gonna be gorgeous. I haven't seen people do the pegboard yarn walls for so long. Even one of y'all posted a picture in our like community tab showing your pegboard yarn wall, and it's so gorgeous. Like, I'm so excited. I am so excited about our yarn wall. That's probably gonna be like its own video. We're probably gonna do one video where we literally go through all of my yarn and put it on the yarn wall. A whole yarn wall video. I'm so excited. I'm literally going through my list of everything I wanted to talk to y'all about. Do you see why I wanted to do a video just talking about the plan? I know this might seem ridiculous to just have a video talking about the plan, but I feel like we don't talk about the plans enough, you know, especially like in short form media. You just see it all happening and it's a time lapse and it all looks so easy. There's a lot that goes into this stuff and a lot that I didn't realize and a lot that just goes into the planning of it. I mean, I feel like I've tried to tell y'all so much in this video alone, but we didn't even go into the half of it, you know? Like there's so many little things that I didn't think about. Even like the type of wood that build the cabinets out of. We're gonna be using something called MDF, medium density fiber board, because it's like really strong, but it's also cheaper. I didn't know what that was. And then paint. Did you know that you can't just paint cabinets with like normal paint? I mean, technically you can, but they make something called cabinet paint that is like way more durable because with cabinets, you're opening them and you're closing them and you're moving stuff and they're gonna probably get chipped really easily. So if you use cabinet paint, it makes it way more durable. So many things I did not know about before planning this project. project. I think lastly, to kind of wrap up this video, I want to talk about the vibe and the name. If you know me, if you're a regular, if you're part of the Sunflower family already, you probably already kind of know my vibe. You're already thinking of things that we could call this room, thinking of the way we're going to decorate it. But if you're new here, I'll tell you, I want to decorate this room like a fairy. This is going to be fairy core. It's going to have a little bit of Hobbit vibes, a little bit of witchy vibes. I kind of want to have it be like the feel of the magical fairy forest. The yarn wall itself is going to be so colorful. So I think a lot of the rest of the room is going to be a little bit more muted. You saw from my little Canva mock-up the way that we're probably going to paint the back cabinets with the purples and the greens. We're going to have the shimmery black countertops. I think that our centerpiece table is going to be the dark green, maybe a little bit of the purple in here as well. I think the closet doors are going to be dark and light purple with flowers painted on them, but that's gonna probably come at a later date because I have a lot of decisions to make before then. The bookshelves will be all the natural wood. We're gonna have dried flowers hanging and herbs, probably make some little potion bottles. Like, you guys get the vibe, right? Kind of like a little witch's cottage, like a fairy's nest. I'm just gonna throw a bunch of my inspiration photos up on the screen so you guys kind of get the idea of what I want it to look like. So what do we call this place? What do we call this room? Because I love being able to be like, okay, y'all, we're going to the cozy corner in the backyard. I love being able to be like, we're in the magical fairy forest at my parents' house. I want something to call this room. Let's take a look at the comments y'all have left so far. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite, or if you have a new name that we haven't heard yet. Right off the bat, Whimsy Workshop. Wait, Whimsy Workshop is really cute. What about the Whimsical Workshop? This is my Whimsical Workshop. That's so cute. I really like that. Sunflower Studio. That's so cute. Fairy Nest. I love that. Another one for the Whimsy Workshop. Okay. Yarnia, like a play on Narnia. Wait, that's so cute. Okay, stay in Yarnia. Imagination Station. Another one for Whimsical Workshop. Wait, another one for Whimsy Workshop. Some people are saying not my idea. I don't know who came up with this originally, but that's like 4 or 5 already. Whimsical Workshop or Whimsy Workshop. The Knick-Knack Nook. Wait, this is my Knick-Knack Nook. Okay, I like that one a lot. Knick-Knack Nook. Same person says Trinket Trove, Knotted Nest, Whimsy Works. People really like the Whimsy Works Whimsical Workshop. Okay, I love the Knick-Knack Nook though. That'd be so cute on a sign. Knick-Knack Nook and Whimsical Workshop are my 2 favorites so far. Moss Light Studio. Okay, whoever said this knows me very well because you know how much I love moss. The Crafty Corner. Wait, I love the Crafty Corner. I saw a lot of comments earlier in the week saying the Cozy Corner, but we already have a Cozy Corner. I like the Crafty Corner. Oh, the same person who said the Crafty Corner also says the Whimsical Workhouse. I'm feeling whimsical, y'all. Cozy Crafty Book Nook. I like that a lot. Lazy Loft Island. Whimsy Craft Library. The Cozy Craft Corner. That's cute. Ooh, or the Little Loft Library. That could be cute. It could be like a sign that has like 2 different directions. Like, even though it's like in one room, one could point towards the library and be the Little Loft Library. This is for the loft. Or it could be the Cozy Craft Corner. Oh, okay, not a name, but this person says they have a yarn pegboard. That makes me so happy, so they love it. Magical Sunflower Crafty Book Room. I love that. Crafty Cave, that's adorable. The Hobbit Hole, love it. Lee Brochet, like a library and crochet room. Wait, Lee Brochet is so cute. The Sunflower Patch, that's cute. The Sunflower Nook, I love that. Y'all have so many comments on this video. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling through. I'm seeing a lot of like duplicates. Enchanted Loft, Pixie Place. Y'all are so good at this. The Hook Nook. I like the Hook Nook because it's like a book nook, but the Hook Nook. I like the Hook Nook a lot. I feel like I saw somebody else say Hook and Book Nook, or the Book and Hook Nook, something like that. It might have been on a different platform. I'm just going through YouTube's comments right now. The Crafty Library, I love that. The Cozy Nest, Crafty Bookworm Hollow, the Cottage. I like the Cottage. I also thought about, what did I call it? The Cottage Corner? Cottage Corner is one I was thinking of. The Nook. The Peace Room. This is gonna be my Peace Room. The Dream Factory, the Crafty Nook. Oh my gosh, you guys have so many cute ideas. This is just so cute. I love it. Granny Hideout. You guys know me too well. Another one for Knick-Knack Nook. That's so cute. The Hobbit Haven, Creative Cove, the Hobbit Nook, Fairy Den, Crafty Cottage. That's cute. I like the Crafty Cottage. This is my Crafty Cottage. What did I say a second ago? Cottage crafts? Didn't I say something similar to that? I'm sorry, I feel like I'm starting to be like kind of loopy, y'all. It's past my bedtime. If you've been following along closely lately, I'm finally on a really, really good sleep schedule, which is crazy for me because I've basically been nocturnal for most of my adult life. So now the fact that I'm actually going to bed before midnight and getting up at a decent hour is crazy. I was gonna film this video earlier and then I just kept finding new things that I needed to figure out. I was like, oh yeah, wait, what kind of wood are we gonna use? Okay, yeah, wait, what about the different kinds of like hardware on this or that? I have to be able to tell them all these things. And then I decided to go ahead and make like the mock-up on Canva of like what the cabinets were gonna look like so I could try to figure out the paint colors. Like y'all, I meant to film this video like 5 hours ago, but then I just kept finding new things that I needed to like research and figure out and order. So I'm glad that I waited though, and I'm glad I did it tonight because I'm just so excited about this. I'm so excited about it. And I wanted to talk to y'all while it was all just fresh in my mind, and I'm just so excited about the plans, but I'm glad I did wait until after I got kind of like all the plans settled in so I could really walk y'all through all of it. Okay, let's check the TikTok comments. Oh my gosh, my friend Paige says, Pollyanna's apothecrafty. Cinnamon apothecary and apothecrafty. Wait, I love the apothecrafty. That's adorable. Another one for Whimsy Workshop on a different platform. Is this gonna be the Whimsical Workshop? Or do you guys seem to like the Whimsy Workshop? Whimsy Workshop? Workshop of Whimsy? It needs to be something that's like, welcome to my whimsical workshop. Do you know what I mean? Like, hey, today we're gonna be in the whimsical workshop. It has to be something I can like say conversationally in videos, I feel like. The Tale of Tinker Trove. Oh, that's adorable. That needs to be a book. Imagination Station, Cozy Corner, Crafting Book Nook, Craftbrary, like a library, Craftbrary. What was the other one earlier? Librochet. That was cute. Fairyland, I love it. The Whimsical Loft, Holly's Hobby Loft. Okay, now let's check Instagram. Loft of Dreams, the Holly Hole, Whispering Willow Workshop. Wait, that's adorable. Or the Craft Shop, Crafty Book Nook, the Noble Nook. Where did I see Hook and Book? The Hook and Book Nook. Maybe it's on Facebook. Maybe someone deleted their comment. The Book Nook Hook, the Hook Nook Book, the Book and Hook Nook. Okay, on Facebook we have the Witchy Workshop, the Hobby Hole. The Hobby Hole's cute. This is my hobby hole. It's cute. Books and Hooks. Wait. Books and Hooks. This is my Books and Hooks room. Books and Hooks is cute, guys. I like Books and Hooks. The Crafty Book Nook. Wait, the Crafty Book Nook is cute too. Yarn Tail, the Yarn Tail room, like yarn and tails, but also a yarn tail. Wait, that's cute. Thread and Thought, Craftery. These are all so cute. These are all so stinking cute. Okay, let me know in the comments what your favorite room name is, because this room is gonna be a name. Let me know if you have ideas, things that maybe I didn't think of, things that you think are gonna work really well, things you think aren't gonna work. Even if you tell me something's not gonna work, I might still try to do it anyways. And I'm just really excited, y'all. I'm really excited to take you along on this journey, and I'm really, really glad we're gonna do this in a multiple part section, because I was so against doing this in a multi-part section, y'all. I love just doing videos where everything is done in one video. Like the sunflower room last year, I filmed that video over 6 months, and it was all just in one video. And so that's what I was going to do with this room, but this room is going to be such a big part of our community. It's gonna be a place that we grow together, that we craft, that we hang out, that we go on live. Like, y'all are gonna be in this room a lot with me for the foreseeable future. And I really want you to be a part of it. I don't want it to be just a video that I kind of like rush through and do just a bunch of time lapses and I make all the decisions without you guys. Like, I don't know, I just like want this to be a group project, y'all. And so this might take anywhere from like 3 weeks to like 6 weeks. I genuinely don't know. I think the way that I have my next month scheduled out, I think this is going to be a back-to-back-to-back series. So hopefully next week, you're gonna see the video of us building everything. And then the week after that, hopefully we're gonna be like installing everything. And the week after that, we're gonna be organizing. The week after that, we'll be decorating. That's the plan, that's the goal. But if anything does take, 2 weeks to do for one segment, there's a chance I might do a random tutorial or a review or something like that in the middle. But I would really, really love to do this series back-to-back-to-back. I want to do this as in real time as I possibly can. I want you guys to be along for the ride. I want you guys to see it as we're doing it. I want you guys to be able to give us input. I just want this to be a project that we do together. I will be also doing my best to post daily shorts of this project. Like I said, over the next few weeks, I'm going to be with my parents, and Dad and I are going to be working in his workshop every day. So I'll be taking y'all along with me as much as I can on literally every part of this project. Well, y'all, I think that wraps up another video. I never thought I would do a video where we're just talking about plans, but I also never thought
thought that I would plan out a project that has this many moving parts, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Thank you to my amazing dad for helping make this happen, y'all. I am so excited and he's so excited. We love doing projects together, so this is going to seriously be so much fun. Thank y'all for watching this video. Thank you for being a part of the Sunflower family. If you're new here, welcome to the Sunflower family. My name is Pollyanna and we do new videos every single Monday. Sometimes it's crafting or crochet or DIY, Renaissance festivals, thrifting, a little bit of everything cozy and quirky. And for the next month, maybe 2 months, we're gonna be building a craft room. So let us know in the comments what you think we should call our library craft room, and I'll see y'all in the next one.